Every morning, a migration of tens of thousands of people begin the commute from Antioch, Brentwood, Tracy, Lathrop, Stockton, and other distant cities westward to the Bay Area's major job centers. Catnapping when they can, they are super commuters, people who commute more than 2 hours a day, who can't afford to buy homes near their jobs. Many of them grew up in the Bay Area, but now find themselves priced out. Sandra Alvarado commutes from Lathrop to Los Gatos.
We're all commuters in my neighborhood. Every last one of us.
All her neighbors also commute, leaving their neighborhood a virtual ghost town during the day.
I don't think I know anyone who lives locally.
Her nearly 6-hour per day round-trip commute from her 2-story, 5-bedroom home begins early.
3 in the morning, and it ends like at 12 at night.
4:58 at KCBS traffic and weather together.
They've tried driving. It makes the day even longer. The Altamont Pass is constantly packed with traffic and tension-filled.
At least this way, I know I'll make it to work. It's ridiculous. It's too much. You basically, it's not getting to work. It's avoiding collision. That's what I feel it is.
Hadam Hanif would prefer to live near Palo Alto, but commutes there on a 5-hour commute every day because he can't afford Bay Area housing.
I mean, a lot of people from the Bay Area have moved in recent times to Manteca. I work in Sanford. I leave Manteca, I think, 4:29, and I get to Sanford at about 6:50.
Because they can't afford to live close to the Bay Area's urban center, Stu and Linda, who prefer not to give their last names, retired to far eastern Contra Costa County. At least they have the option of mass transit for a doctor's appointment at UCSF.
If we drive, we have to get up at 4 o'clock, leave at 5 for an appointment at 9 or 10 to beat all the traffic going through the toll plaza.
This daily migration, which is choking our highways and transit systems, is happening, experts say, because Bay Area cities and counties have only built a fraction of what is needed to keep housing affordable.
Who wants to drive 2.5 hours every day, one way, and drive to Silicon Valley or San Francisco, which is where my people, when I say my people, our city, that's what happens every day, 5 days a week.
The driving force for this is the relative affordability of cities like Brentwood. While the typical Bay Area home cost over $700,000 in 2015, median prices in Brentwood are just $460,000. Middle-income families are able to find new homes in communities with good schools, but the work commute is a nightmare. At the same time, other inner Bay Area residents are finding themselves priced out of their neighborhoods as a result of gentrification, being displaced to cities far from family, friends, and job opportunities.
I live in Tracy, California.
And where do you work?
I work at Stanford at Palo Alto.
Ray Amata used to live in San Jose, but couldn't afford to stay there.
Housing. We would like to have our own house.
The challenges these commuters face were years in the making. In 2015, the Bay Area created over 130,000 jobs, but permitted only 20,000 housing units. In fact, our region is producing 1/3 of the housing it did just 4 decades ago, even as our economy is booming. San Francisco and Silicon Valley have been trying to catch up, but the bulk of the Bay Area has seen little to no housing construction in recent years. Many traditionally middle-income communities in San Mateo, Contra Costa, and Alameda counties are only producing a fraction of what they did in the 1960s and 70s. That means the population has shifted to the Tri-Valley and beyond. Andrew Chesley, Executive Director of San Joaquin Council of Governments, has seen this trend firsthand.
I've lived here since 1979. The reason why the Livermore Valley developed so quickly and aggressively is because there was growth control in other areas of the Bay Area pushing development to the east. Livermore adopted its own growth control measure, pushing development to Tracy. We continue to push that eastward with each city, we're finding it challenging to accommodate new growth. There's benefits associated with this in terms of a larger amount of discretionary income in the area from what had been previously, a more diverse population that comes to the area. But at the same time, You have people who, as the former mayor of Tracy used to say, who spend their day in the Bay Area and come home to sleep in the Central Valley and then immediately go back.
One solution would be to invest more in BART, ACE, and major highway corridors. Another solution is to build more housing close to major job centers. That requires a greater commitment from cities and towns across the Bay Area.
And we know that there are communities making real efforts to provide more affordable housing in the Bay Area. That is not a universal. The Bay Area needs to supply more affordable housing. We need to have more job-related growth here.
That's easier said than done. But unless the Bay Area acts in the years to come, thousands more super commuters will be packing into cars, buses, and trains to work at booming Bay Area offices.